And if he's with another love, and he and his love both married be, I wish them health and happiness where they dwell across the sea.
Yeah, well, one of the songs that we're looking at today, The Other Half of the Moon.
Yeah.
There are lots and lots of songs, traditional folk songs, where a young couple have to separate, usually for economic reasons. You know, just as today there weren't enough jobs to go round, and jobs on the land were so poorly paid that the young man usually had to go away either to the merchant navy or the forces, or to seek his fortune overseas, and then would come back. And very often they would take a token, half a sixpence or something, and it would bring them together. And for a long time I was doing the song John Riley, where there's no token, but the two lovers separate and they come back together. And I was inspired by that song as a writer initially to write The Other Half of the Moon, because I felt that in the traditional songs it was usually the woman who gained the listener's sympathy.
Yes.
She was left behind, she was faithful, she was pining. What a sweet girl. And I wanted to look at it from the guy's point of view, because sometimes guys find separation difficult to deal with. We feel lonely, we're human. Absolutely.
Pagan goddess in the garden of delights, and I will come and find you in the middle of the night. I'm gonna plant my tree in your garden, water it with love, and call on the sun, warm it from above. I'm gonna take my fingers in your soil and smear my skin with mud. I'm gonna rain down upon you, cover you with love. We sat in my garden, you leaned into my arms, you stroked your finger along the line of my palms, two magpies over our heads.
And did you actually see those two magpies?
Yes, yes. I was sitting in my garden with Juliet, and two magpies flew over our head with twigs to build a nest. I just wrote what I saw. The same was true of Juliet is Like the Wind. It was a blustery, stormy day, and she was blustery and stormy as well, and she was sitting outside glowering, and crows and ravens were battling the winds in the sky, and I just tried to coalesce that moment in a mood. And it's a bit like painting still life, you know, you just try and take a snapshot of it and leave enough room for the listener. You know, it's not a scientific report, it's an impression. It's an impressionist painting, not a photograph. But even so, I mean, it's as literal as you can be.
Well, if you could have married a king's daughter, dear, then I'm sure that you're to blame. For I have married a house carpenter, and I find him a fine young man. That her dark hair would weave a snare, that I might someday rue. I saw the danger, yet I walked along the enchanted way. And I said, let grief be a falling leaf at the dawning of the day.
So, has folk music always been a major part in your musical life? Has it
Well,
always been there?
Miles said it's all folk music, and the musicians I was listening to when I started listening to music started as folky singer-songwriters, Bob Dylan, Neil Young. So they had their roots in folk. They weren't singing traditional folk songs. That came later for me. When I dug back, there was an appreciation of storytelling with a guitar and the world that could create, and a fascination with that storytelling. And then you explore, you excavate, and you find Martin Carthy and Sandy Denny and Richard Thompson and so on, and suddenly you're through into this cave of wonders.
On the road to Damascus, a bright light made me blind. Choirs of angels sang hymns in my mind, but I was surrounded by the sound of hell, and the moment of salvation was just a mortar shell. I stumbled around in the sandstone with my hand over my eyes. The bodies of the dead, we want justice in this land. One day, as and when Arthur will return and the hawthorn bloom again. Let the hawthorn blossom all across the land. Take your brother and sister by the hand.
You're going to perform. You're going to start playing gigs fairly soon. So what can we expect from your live set? I mean, I'm assuming songs of Juliet will be featuring fairly heavily in it. What else are we like to come across?
Well, there's going to be some traditional material. Again, the constant fascination with the archetypes, the shape-shifting fox, the returning sailor, all of these mythical archetypes are just a constant fascination. So there'll be a parade of those. There will be songs for Juliet, because love is a wonderful thing, and you want to kind of spend as much time there as you can.
It's a great place to be.
It's good for the soul. It's fun. It's fun writing love songs.
Yeah, thanks for your time, and I'll see you on the stage in a few months.
Cheers.
I'm trying to remember how many candles to put on your birthday cake. I'm still haunted by my dreams even though I'm wide awake. I'm caught between two worlds, walking both sides of a river. And I'm staring at this package that I was meant to deliver. It's gonna be alright.